What's up? It's your boy Kazi, welcome to Kazi Plays, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Ultron. So without further ado, let's get into it. To start things off, let's first talk about his role. If you don't know already, Ultron is a strategist aka support, but not just that, he is a off support, which means that he obviously does provide some healing, but that's not his main objective. With his kit, he's mainly going to be poking the other enemy team and trying to weaken them to make it easier for the DPSs and tanks to finish off and get that kill. Although I do feel like Ultron will be played more in the higher ranks because of his limited heals, and in the higher ranks people tend to make less mistakes compared to the lower ranks, which is the reason why you would probably play another support in the lower ranks to keep your team alive, because you know they're still getting used to the game or they haven't fully gotten the hang of it. With that being said, I do feel like in a double support comp it is possible to run Ultron. However, it is best to run the Iron Man team up with it. But if he does have the Iron Man team up, don't worry, he does function in a triple support comp as well. Up next, let's go over his abilities. His primary fire is a beam that deals damage for a couple seconds with a burst at the end. His first ability is a drone that he can place on any ally that heals them, and also heals any ally within the range of that drone, including yourself. His second ability allows you to place shield on any ally within the range of your drone and yourself. His third ability allows you to boost in any direction, and then after that you get increased movement for 8 seconds. His ultimate, it deals damage and heals, but keep in mind heals are way more than damage, and you can also boost while you're in this state to make it harder for your opponents to kill you. He also has a team up with Iron Man that turns his primary into a uni beam that has a piercing effect, which allows him to heal allies and deal damage to his enemies if possible. If you have made it this far into the video and want to dive further into the community, I do got a Discord link will be in the description below. They will talk about Marvel Rivals, anime, manga, and whatnot. So if you're interested, feel free to stop by. We'd love to have you. Moving on, let's go over his crosshair. When looking at this reticle, there are two parts to it. There's the dot in the middle, which is the size of the beam, and then there are the crosshairs on the outside, which is the range of the beam. Because as you can see right here, even if you're not shooting directly on the dot, as long as they're within the range of the crosshair, they will still take damage. But once you get used to it, you can go ahead and take off the crosshair if you want to and just keep the dot. Here are the settings for the crosshair. Go ahead and pause the video at any time you want so you can go ahead and get these settings down. And finally, let's go over his playstyle. When in neutral, you typically want to go ahead and try to hug corners the best you can, because Ultron is in a similar situation to Storm, whereas his flying mobility isn't that fast, and unlike Storm, he doesn't have the speed boost at all times. Sure, he does have that speed boost ability, but that does have a cooldown, so always try to hug corners the best you can while taking shots at the enemy. Now, one of the best things with Ultron is that he has the fastest ult charge on support, which means you're going to be getting his ult a ton of times. So the best way to do that is that you gotta have the best drone placement. So when deciding on who to put your drone on, typically you want to go ahead and put it on your tank. If you have two tanks, it's best to put it on the weaker one. For example, if you have a Magneto and an Emma on your team, it would be better to put your drone on the Emma, because the Magneto has way more tools to get out of situations compared to the Emma. If your tank or tanks are getting healed plenty by the supports, then your second best option is to go ahead and put your drone on the DPSs, especially if you have an Iron Man that's playing close to you, because remember, Ultron has no self-heal. So what you're going to need to do is that you either have to stay in the range of your drone, or you have to rely on your other supports to keep you alive. When deciding on the best time to pop your shield, it's best to wait when your team needs to recover. For example, if one of your teammates is getting low and needs to back off, you can go ahead and pop that shield to increase their chances of them surviving, so then they can back up, recover, and then get back into the fight. With your speed boost, you're mainly going to be using it as a get out of jail free card, but don't try to overly rely on it, because remember, it does have a bit of a cooldown, so try to position yourself as best as you can to avoid having to use it so much. While in between shots, what you can do to make your shots a bit faster is that every time you shoot a bullet, go ahead and press your melee button to animation cancel, and then you can go right back to shooting again. And this also works for reloading too. when you're reloading. When it gets about halfway done, go ahead and press the melee button to animation cancel, and you'll still have all your bullets back. When deciding on the best time to pop Ultron's ultimate, it's definitely whenever your team is deciding on making a big push. Once they make that big push, just go ahead and pop your ultimate so you can support them. However, keep in mind that Ultron can get killed easily in this ultimate, because sure, he does have self-healing in it, but it isn't enough for him to out-heal all the damage that he's going to be taking. So you either have two options. Either you go ahead and pop your speed boost and move around to make it hard for your opponents to kill you, or two, you can go ahead and hide around cover so then your opponents can't even reach you, or you can do a little bit of both. And that's everything on how to play Ultron. But if I did leave something out, or you did discover something new about him, feel free to leave it in the comments below to share with everyone else to help each other out. And yeah, if you do want more Marvel Rebels on the channel, why don't you go to support your boy? I'll go ahead and catch y'all in the next one. Y'all take it easy.